All right, hello sisters, it's me again. I just wanted to talk about empathy for a minute today. Empathy is a big word, it involves a lot. And obviously, I'm going to talk about empathy as it relates to ministering. And of course, it goes together hand in hand. Someone who is more empathetic is going to be, you know, a really genuine minister. And so empathy is a skill, and because it's a skill, that means it can be learned. Some people have a natural ability to just kind of step into other people's shoes and understand, what they're going through and what's happening. However, for the majority of us, I feel it is a skill that needs to be worked on and cultivated and practiced. So I wrote down a couple of things. That's why I keep looking down at my notes here. But I wrote down a couple of things about empathy that I just wanted to share and bring to your attention. Number one, we can pray for it. We can pray to our Heavenly Father for help to cultivate this gift, this skill to be able to have empathy, especially for the sisters that we minister to, but anybody, empathy for anyone. And a few steps that we can do to really build this empathy is to seek understanding, actively listening, spending time with your ministering sisters, following them on Facebook or other social media so that you can understand what their needs and desires are and what their interests are. That way it gives you a little bit more, ability to respond in a way that's going to be more valuable. Let's see. So seeking understanding is a big one, and then imagining how we would feel in their shoes or in their circumstances. We've all heard the slang of walk a mile in someone else's shoes, and then you'll know what they're going through. And I think that is kind of what we're talking about here. We're seeking that understanding, but also imagining what it would be like for us to be in their situation. There's a story that I've read recently about an elderly man who sat alone on the back seat of a back bench in church and didn't really interact with anyone. However, another family member or church member, their elderly family member had passed away, and people reached out and brought meals and said, what can we do to help you? Let us know. We're just a phone call away. Really trying to show their support. But this gentleman, who rarely interacted with anyone, showed up to this family's door and said, I'm here to clean and prepare everyone's shoes. So he had identified a need that the family had, and that he could do for them. He didn't ask permission. He didn't say, what can I do for you? He knew the family's situation enough and understood it enough and could imagine enough what it was like for them, and thought of something that would be nice if someone did it for him, if he was in that situation. So he took the time to shine and polish the entire family's shoes ready for the funeral service. So that was an example that I thought was very impactful and kind of opened my eyes and understanding that sometimes offering to help isn't enough. That if we're truly going to show that empathy and that ministering ability, we're going to pray and seek and really look for ways to serve without necessarily asking permission or asking for what we can do. It's figuring it out and then doing it. So I was really inspired by that and wanted to share it. Another thing we can work on is responding in a genuine way. So a lot of times when people confide in us, at least from my experience, things that I've noticed is when people confide in me, my natural response is I want to fix it. I want to make it better for them. I want to make it so that they don't have to worry about it. I want to just take care of it. However, that's not always our job, especially as a minister, ministering to someone and really showing empathy. It's less about fixing it and more about just letting them know that they're not alone in what they're feeling. Just to lift and to strengthen them by letting them know that they're not alone. So a few things that you could potentially say is, oh my gosh, I'm just so glad that you told me. Or, wow, that must really hurt. I am so sorry. And just saying those things, or sometimes just sitting in the same space and not even having a conversation. Just letting the person know that you're there can make all the difference. Lastly, what I wanted to mention is this big word called vulnerability. And I've noticed something magical happening in our Relief Society meetings, and I don't know what's causing it, or I'm just going to be grateful for it and not ask questions. But I have been so impressed with the increase in vulnerability in the sisters in our ward, the willingness that they are to share their insecurities and their struggles, and to seek help, but also to provide that information in hopes that the rest of us who may be going through those same things can feel connected. And it's a scary step to take. It can be a scary place to be, in that vulnerable spot, to share really what is difficult for you, what you're going through. But more often than not, and in my line of work, I have seen that when I am more vulnerable and share little tidbits of my struggles and what I've experienced, it benefits the people that I talk to. It brings our relationship closer, and it's usually at those moments that the people I work with are able to open up and really share and really delve in to what they need to be discussing with someone. And I'm not telling you guys to go be therapists or anything, but the biggest thing that you could do in sharing your vulnerableness and whatnot is to build a connection, a valuable connection. Be vulnerable, and you'll create a valuable connection with your sisters that you minister to. So I want to extend you all a challenge to pray for guidance, pray to know how to extend more empathy to the sisters that you're working with. And with that, we will chat again soon. Bye.